Okay.
Okay, so guys, thanks for being on. This is Danae, and Mallory's our guest speaker tonight. So we had the idea over the weekend. We just were like, you know what, we should really just talk about this. And sometimes I feel like it helps to hear from someone different about something that maybe we've heard a bazillion times over and over again. And so, like, just talking about confidence and developing your own confidence, and then talking about, we're also going to be talking about the power of affirmations. And so I'm just going to let Mallory take it away. If you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about who you are, then that would be great for my team. Just because I'm a Beachbody coach, and so we're kind of from two separate worlds, which is totally cool. But I just have loved watching Mallory, and I feel like my team could understand or grow a lot just from learning from her. So anyway, Mallory, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Mallory. I'll introduce myself. I am a wife to an amazing law enforcement officer. I am a mama to 3 beautiful babies, 4, 2, and 1. I am a lover of all things romantic, shabby, and chic. I love speaking truth. I love speaking truth. I love speaking positive affirmations over myself, over my children, over my life. I've not always been good at it, but I am becoming good at it. I'm also a unique presenter. So what I do, I go live on Facebook and I put on my makeup. And while I put on my makeup, I uplift and empower and validate women and talk about how everyone is beautiful and how beauty starts on the inside, and then our makeup just brings it on the outside too. I had this beautiful, amazing speech in the shower this morning. If there would have been a pen and paper in there, I would have been able to write down every single word. But I'm going to try to give it the best I can. So I am super duper excited to talk to you ladies about, I don't know where to look on my phone where I don't look weird. I'm super duper excited to talk to you ladies about building confidence and how speaking positive affirmations over your life and over yourself is really going to help you. And I want you to realize that the only person who can unlock that confidence and that inner boldness and braveness is you. Only you. No one else can do that except for yourself. Who here has an inner mean girl? I do. I have an inner mean girl. She always says to me, you can't do that. They're going to laugh at you. You are not skilled. That eye look is totally out of your league. Don't even try that. Do not even try that on makeup or on live. She tells us that we're not pretty enough. We're not good enough. And that is our mind. Our mind is automatically going to shove us in boxes. It's going to put us in boxes for safety. It's going to say, oh, no, don't you go there. Don't you go there, girl, because that is dangerous. They might laugh at you. You are not good enough to do that thing. So just stay right here in this little box. Stay right here in this little box where we're safe, where we're comfortable. So step 1 in unlocking your confidence and unleashing that inner lioness, that inner confident girl, and shutting down that inner mean girl is to do that thing that your inner mean girl tells you cannot do. So I'll give you a little. When I first joined Unique and I had to go to Facebook Live, it was scary. Ooh, it was scary. And but for some reason, I was able to shut down that inner mean girl, and I just did it anyway. I walked into my bedroom, shut the door, turned on my phone, had red splotches all over my neck, didn't know a darn thing about applying makeup, got on Facebook Live and just did it. And that was the first step to shutting down that inner mean girl who said that I couldn't do it. Was just doing it anyway. Just do it anyway. I think there's a quote, you must do the thing that you think you cannot do. And that is your first step in unlocking that confidence. The second step is to believe it. So even if you don't believe it the first time, because I didn't, if you don't believe it the first time, now you've done it. Now you've done it. So now you need to believe it yourself. And how you do that is by speaking positive affirmations over your life and over yourself. I am beautiful. I am confident. I am worthy. And it's not easy. I have in my house a chalkboard, and I put all sorts of stuff on there, and I have signs from Hobby Lobby all over that say good things about just affirmations about life and about God and about things that are going to lift me up. So as I'm walking around through my house, I see those positive affirmations, and they help me to believe in myself. They help me to believe in myself. I think that we all, whether you believe it or not, you do have an inner confidence because it was instilled in you. When you were born confident. You were born confident, and it was the world that shut you down. And it was your inner mean girl that continues to shut you down. So the key is to unlocking that confidence that you've always had, that I know is just like hiding inside of you, by doing those things that we were just talking about. I'm trying to think. I don't want to take over Danae's section of the webinar. She's going to teach you how to do positive affirmations. I know that, oh gosh, Danae, do you have anything else that you have like thoughts about what I've been saying? Or
Well, I do think, I think that a lot of what you said is true. I think that it has a lot to do with finding that belief in yourself, but also just like you said, like doing the things anyway. So consistency breeds confidence. That's something that my mentor has just talked to us over and over about, how like if you do the things, even if you feel like you suck at posting on social media or going live on Facebook or talking to new friends or whatever it is that you're trying to do and get better at doing, that you've been afraid of, and that you're just kind of like making yourself do it, the more times that you can do that thing, the more confident you're going to get. And so like, I mean, watching you now, Mallory, like you're like the most confident person on, like when you do your Facebook lives and you do your makeup, like nobody would ever guess that the first time that you did a video, you sat there and just like had a panic attack before you did. And I felt the same way. Like if I were to look back a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I first went live on Facebook, I was the same way. I was totally not comfortable talking. But the cool thing is that the more that you do it, the more confident you get. And I think that bleeds into every area of your life. It's the same thing with your fitness. It's the same with doing your makeup, with speaking affirmations, with any habit that you're trying to create. The more frequently you can give yourself the opportunities to do that, and to really, I think John, what's his name? Not John. Why can't I think of his name? John Acuff. Yeah, it is John. He has a book that's called, I'm gonna have to look at it really fast. It is all about perfectionism, and it's like the best book ever. Where is it? Finish. It's called Finish. And he has this book called Start, but he just was finding that there's so many people that they start something, but they never finish it. And he basically just talks about how we have to set ourselves up for success so that we can build that confidence in whatever it is that we're doing, that goal that we're trying to meet, that behavior that we're trying to create in our lives. So I guess like to kind of tag along with what you said a little bit, I for sure think that personal development has to be like high on your list. For us in the Beachbody world, personal development means listening to podcasts and listening to webinars, not just done by our team. It's like other people who are like experts in the field on personal growth. And so like listening to books and podcasts and things by Brendon Burchard are really, really great. And honestly, the more that you can expose your mind to those kinds of patterns of thinking, I think the easier it becomes to believe those patterns of thinking that you're trying to instill in your own mind, like with positive affirmations. Because I know for me, I have like, even just this last week, guys, I have a whole list of affirmations that I say that I've had help getting created, and that I kind of revamp every time I have a new fear that comes up in my life. And I had the hardest time saying them this whole last week. Like, even though I was like, okay, I'm going to be like talking to people about how to create affirmations. Like, why is it so hard to say these affirmations sometimes? And I think it just comes down to that inner belief that sometimes you have to kind of fake it till you make it and just make yourself do it, even if you don't feel like it, because I don't know, I kind of equate everything to exercise. I work out, and if I didn't feel like exercising beforehand, I'm glad I did it anyway, just because like I'm not going to ever regret doing the thing. I'm going to regret not doing it. So I think personal growth, like Girl Wash Your Face, is an awesome book to, like, if you have not ever read or listened to Girl Wash Your Face, it is amazing. And what's the other one? Anything by Brene Brown. Like, guys, Brene Brown she's powerful. And then the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. Like, if you feel like you just need someone to talk back to your BS that's in your head, Mel Robbins is perfect for that. But it takes time. And I think that's the thing that we don't give ourselves enough credit for, is that it really does take time. We don't develop confidence in like one time of trying something. You get a little burst of confidence. You get a little burst of adrenaline from doing something that you've never done before. But the confidence comes when you do it over and over and over again. At least I know that's what it's been for me. So, okay. I don't know how long we've been talking. I think we're probably okay on time, actually. But do you guys have, I guess, like, for the people that are on this call, I just wanted to like open this up. Before I talk to you guys a little bit about how to make the affirmations, I want to just open it up to, like, what are some of the things, the beliefs about yourself that you feel like you guys struggle with? I asked my team for a list of these ones just because I feel like they're fears that probably could relate to pretty much everyone. So I have a few, but I would love to just, like, if you guys have them and you want to vocalize them yourself, or if you want to type it, and it might actually help if you type it in the chat while I'm talking. So just go ahead and, like, if you have any limiting beliefs, or if you have something that you feel like you come up against this wall every time you go to do something, whether it's for your business or for, like, just anything in your life. And hopefully we can, like, talk you through some of those things. Okay.
Well, one more thing.
Yeah.
Is that I think that with anything in life, because I know a lot of you, some of you are on Danae's team, but some of you aren't. Some of you are just my girlfriends. One of the big, huge things that I have found that has helped me in building my confidence is getting up and showing up. Getting up and showing up. Even if there's nothing to show up for, you show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Get up in the morning, get dressed, put on your mascara. Get yourself dressed and ready, take a shower, and then you will be ready for the day, and you'll be able to better fuel your confidence with positivity and good things. And I know that I think it was a fluke, but for some reason I had some clarity in my mind. And as I went to, before I went to my unique convention, and throughout it and afterwards, I was able to feed myself with more positivity. I was thinking about more positive things. I was thinking in my head, I was just thinking about my kids. For some reason, I was seeing them in a different light, and I was speaking not outwardly, but like inwardly in my head, good things about them and good things about me. And it really totally changed my attitude. It changed my I felt more confident. I felt like I could actually do things. So on the tail end of that was going somewhere. But get up, show up, and even if you're not writing them down, which Danae's going to talk about that, but even if you don't write them down, constantly train your brain. You need to train your brain to think good things. And one thing that I've been doing is so my daughter got hand, foot, and mouth. And I was sitting there, and I was in just a big mess because I was gone. I was in Texas, and we didn't know what it was. She was very, very sick. And I was just on the floor, and I looked up at the girl sitting next to me, and I was like, what is the good that came out of this? Because I knew that if I could find one good thing, I could get up and go out throughout my day and not be so worried about it. So my good thing she said, your other 2 kids are okay. And I was like, yes, okay, my other 2 kids are okay. And ever since that was a couple weeks ago, I have been thinking in every situation, what is the good in this situation? Because there's always something good. What is the good? Even though this situation, whatever it may be for you, feels like it stinks and feels like there is absolutely nothing good about it. What is the good in this? And I promise that if you think that question, you are your inner, I know you've got an inner mean girl, but you've got an inner good girl and an inner, you've got the positive stuff that's in you too, whether you see it or not, is going to find that good thing. It's going to find that good thing. And you might be amazed. You might be amazed at that it comes really quickly. You're like, oh, well, that was quick. And you will feel it's just going to help you. It can help you all around. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, have you guys ever heard the quote, what you focus on expands? I feel like it's said lots of different ways, but basically just that idea that if you focus on the lack, if you focus on the negative, then that's what you're going to see. You're going to manifest more of that in your life. But like Mallory said, if you can question that initial thought and just think, okay, but there's something good that can come from this. Like, life isn't happening to me. Life is happening for me. What's good? Like, what's the good that can come out of this? Just changing that little shift in thinking. It, like you said, it just turns a different switch in your brain, because unfortunately, like, most of our society and most of our culture has been programmed to think negatively, to think in lack, to think in fear. And it's just kind of the way that our brain has been programmed. It's thanks to a lot of things from the media. There's just a lot of automatic programming that we've had put into us from the time that somebody told us when we were learning how to walk to be careful. Like, that has just been kind of going on in our brains. So affirmations, personal development, doing things every single day to give yourself the opportunity to develop confidence, like, those are things that will help you, like, over time. Okay, so affirmations. The biggest thing for me is that affirmations, I feel like they have to, at least for me, I used to just do things like, I had a list of affirmations that I found on Pinterest, and I pulled some from other people. And I used to just do affirmations that were like, I am strong, I am powerful, I am kind, I am a patient mom, like those kinds of things that I did want to, like, manifest in my life, but they weren't very specific and they weren't very actionable. And something that I learned, like, in the last 5 or 6 months from, I actually have a mentor, his name is Josh Coates, and he is amazing. But something that I've learned from him is that affirmations are most powerful if you talk about the things that you're already good at. And if you can make your affirmations somehow more related to an action than they are to just an I am statement. So let me just give you an example. Like, one of the fears that I have, or the doubts that I have, is that that I'll run out of people to talk to, or run out of people to help, run out of people to, like, potentially add to my team, things like that. And so one of the affirmations that I have, basically you take the fear that you have and you look at it. And so, like, you write it down and you say, okay, I'm afraid of not succeeding in this business because I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to add enough people, or I stink at recruiting, or whatever it is that you feel like is the fear. So let's just kind of roll with this, because I know all of you guys are kind of familiar with that idea. But I can only control the things that I can control. And so then I can make a list of a couple of the things that I have control over. Ultimately, I don't have control over whether or not people stick with their health and wellness journey, or they stick with coaching, or whatever it is. But I do have control of how many people I talk to. I do have control of the way that I show up, and I have control of just how I show up for those people. So my affirmation for that is that I can control how many people I add to my team. So I'll keep talking to people, keep recruiting, and believe that I'm going to find the right people who are passionate about the same things that I am at the right time for them and the right time for me. I can't control who sticks with this, but I can find the people who will. And then there's some other, let's see, this one's a really good one. Mom guilt. I feel really conflicted as a mom sometimes about just like, oh my goodness, I feel really guilty that, I'm letting my kids watch a show for 30 minutes while I do a quick call with you guys, because somehow that makes me a bad mom to, like, let them watch a TV show for 30 minutes when I used to watch TV for like 4 hours. When you say those things out loud, like, I'm a bad mom because I let my kid watch TV, like, it sounds stupid. It's like the dumbest thing in the world. And we can't even believe that we would even say it to ourselves. But that's kind of the little negative voice that's going through our minds. So my affirmation for combating that is I say, because I'm doing this, and I say what I'm already doing, or because I want this, because I want my children to believe that they can go after a goal guilt-free. I do not beat myself up with mom guilt for working my business and letting my kids do something on their own for a little bits at a time in the mom cracks of my day. And just basically like proving to myself and reminding myself of how I want to show up as a mom, and how I want to show up for my business, and how I can distinctly separate the two and be present in those moments when I need to. Because I feel like for me, I'm really good at multitasking. The problem with that is that I then am sucky at everything. So I have to be very like intentional with, I'm showing up right now as mom. And so I plan out my day, and I have little things that I do throughout the day to remind myself like, okay, this is time for me to show up as just mom. I need to put my phone down. I need to just like let go of that need to do other things and just focus on being mom. And that's okay. Like that it doesn't make me a poor business owner to do that. It just means that I'm focusing on the priority in the moment. So I think what is one of my affirmations there? Then I show up present and happy to spend time with my kids. They're a commitment, not a distraction. They're my priority, and I let them know that by how I treat them. And working on my business and myself allows me to grow in patience, and shows my kids they can pursue their dreams and reach them. So, I mean, it's just little tweaks in that they take I'm a patient mom to a whole new level, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. So, one of the things that I asked my team earlier today was to just give us an idea of some of the things that they have some insecurities about. And one of my girls, she said one of her fears is that no one will ever join join me on this journey, because they like to watch and tell me how proud they are, but they never want to see the success that I've found in it. So basically just worrying about not being consistent enough in her own journey that people won't like want to jump on the bandwagon, so to speak. So I asked my upline, hold on, let me get back to it. Okay. Scrolling up. Okay. Okay. So affirmation to combat that kind of fear that you're not going to be able to find the kinds of people who you could make a difference with. I attract people who want to change their life because they see that I'm changing mine, and they want to be a part of this incredible journey with me. And then what did this other girl basically just had doubts about her own consistency. So like, well, maybe I'm not confident enough myself. How could I help other people become more confident? So her reply to me was that basically she doesn't really have affirmations to talk about how she can like overcome that specific fear, because really when it came down to it, she just told me her fear was okay, I asked her, like, you said you have an affirmation for my fitness journey is too imperfect, or I'm not fit enough to coach anyone. So why would anyone want to have me as their coach? She said, I don't necessarily have one for that specifically. They're more about staying consistent, because really if you're feeling like your fitness journey or your confidence journey, whatever it is, if you're feeling like you're not confident enough in that, it's really that you're just not consistent with it enough over time to build that confidence in yourself. And so she says, I allow myself to feel good. I will make today a weight loss day. My body loves to lose weight. Because of the choices I make today, I'll see a smaller number on the scale tomorrow. Now, she's someone who she's had a significant weight loss journey. I mean, she's probably lost like 200 pounds in the last while that she's gone up and down. And she still has weight to lose because she just was in a really difficult place when she started. But this is one that I love, that she just says, it's my moral and ethical obligation to succeed at whatever it is that you're trying to succeed at, because I wake up with purpose and motivation, and other people need that too. And I feel like that's probably one of the most powerful affirmations. But here's the thing. So Mallory and I have given you guys some tools. We've given you some ideas. We've talked a little bit about affirmations. Basically, I feel like the biggest thing to understand with affirmations is that if you have a fear, you need to look at the fear and you need to address it with logic. The affirmation is what you logically tell your brain to combat that irrational fear. I have a visual. Oh, where did it go? I have a visual that I can copy and I can actually send it to Mallory so that she can like see this, but it shows, can I show you guys this? Let me see. I don't know where it went. Oh, come on. Okay. So this is my mentor's like affirmation guide. This is what he recommends for doing for affirmations. He just says like, you need your personal why, you need your mission statement, whatever that is for yourself. Then you need whatever that goal is that you're trying to reach. So it could be a business goal. It could be a life goal. It could be a health and fitness goal, whatever it is. But then you say that you're worthy, you're capable, and you're currently creating that in your life. And then 3 strengths that you already have that maybe you don't accept about yourself. Okay. 3 things you need to develop to make your goals happen. So skills that you need, whether you need to develop more confidence or you need to develop your ability to talk to people, whatever it is. And then 3 fears that you have to overcome in your life. And so these are the ones where it says, because I do this, I am doing this. Or because I want this, I am doing this. And so like, that's kind of my pattern for creating affirmations. But it always helps to ask other people too, and just say, this is what my fear is, or my like belief about myself is right now. So can you help me come up with an affirmation? Because the thing is that sometimes it's hard for us to talk logically to ourselves. Sometimes we need to hear it from someone else. So what was I going to say? Oh, okay. So we've given you guys some tools, but you can't just write affirmations or have a list of affirmations on your wall and not actually use them. So using your affirmations, I set time in my day where I try every morning before I like move forward with doing anything besides maybe meditating and reading scriptures. I say my affirmations and I make myself say them out loud. And even if you don't have a list as long as mine, because mine probably take me about 3 minutes to go through all of my affirmations. But even if I don't get all of them in that day, as long as I intentionally say a few that I really feel like I need to focus on, saying them out loud, saying them in the mirror. I know Mallory's like really good about saying them in the mirror. I'm not super good about saying them in the mirror. I need to be better at that. But I think that it's just one of those things. The more you do it, the more confident you get in it, and the easier it is to believe the things that you're trying to affirm in your life. I don't know if Mallory, let's see. Mallory, are you trying to unmute yourself? There we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
So, hello. So I know Danae, how she just said, I say them in the mirror. I know, and I know you just said that you say them all in the morning to yourself. But I also remember you mentioning one time that you have a timer that goes off on your phone. Is that true?
I have in the past, like to help me remember, I've set a timer to remind myself that it just says like, say positive affirmations, and or it actually has an affirmation on the timer and it like will go off multiple times throughout the day. So you can do that. I mean, that's one of the things I think Brendan Burchard recommended for creating happiness habits. Like you have to consciously bring the joy into your life. And so if you're struggling with believing those kinds of things, then make a few reminders. Just remind yourself at like breakfast, lunch, and dinner time. And I mean, you can say them in the shower, you can say them while you drive. But the cool thing is that if you can attach a new habit to an already existing habit, it will be a lot easier to do every single day. So for me, like that's not always going to be brushing my teeth. I can't talk and brush my teeth at the same time. But some people like to say their affirmations while they're in the shower. I personally am not the best at that all the time. But I have a habit already established to sit down at the table and I just pull out my phone and I read my affirmations. And then I like move on and do the next thing.
I have a trigger in my brain that whenever I'm feeling low or whenever things are going down the toilet, something goes off in my brain. And when I see things going downhill, I stop and I'm like, okay, it's time. Some reason that's a trigger for me when things starts to go bad. And I think that it's important to do it in the morning time, but like we were just talking about throughout the day, I think whenever throughout the day, if you if you will start to feel stressed, or you start to feel anxious, or you start to feel low, and you start to feel your mean girl like telling you that you can't, and that you're not good enough, and that you aren't going to be able to do all those things that you want to do, or that because of what other people will say, or because you are a terrible mom, you're never going to be able to teach your kids and be everything that they need. When that inner mean girl starts to say all those things to you, I don't know how I did it, but think about it and kind of train your brain. When you hear her talking to you, or your day starts to spiral downward, stop dead in your tracks and speak truth over that day and over that moment. What is the good in my life? Actually, just because you told me I can't do that, inside of me, I know that I can do that. I actually am a great mom. I actually am really good at putting on my makeup. My makeupspawn.com actually. And I can do that eye look. Or, hey, I am a great friend, and I am an amazing singer, or I'm an amazing artist. And even when that mean girl tells you those things, and especially when she tells you those things, that's when you need to stop and speak truth over that moment. And it will kick her out the door. Kick her out the door and be like, no way. So anyways, that's what I had to say.
I love it. I think that's really important to be aware of too. I was honestly, like, just before I got on, I was just feeling like really flustered because I felt like I didn't quite get my morning routine the way that I normally like to get it. And I have a hard time with change. And so sometimes when, like, I have a really good day, like yesterday felt like a really good and really productive day. I don't know what it is for me. Mondays are always like that. And then Tuesday's like my Monday. And so for whatever reason, like, I just was feeling flustered, and I was not focusing very well. I was feeling like my daughter is fighting naps. She's 2.5. And so I was just feeling like, how am I supposed to talk about positivity today? Because right now I feel so irritated and so flustered that she just won't sleep. And I know she needs sleep. And I feel like I haven't been able to do anything yet today. And I just had to, like you said, I had to recognize that. But it's not an easy thing to recognize. And if you continue letting yourself go down the hill, so to speak, then it's going to be really hard to climb back up. There's a really good YouTube video that I've watched that I try and remind myself to watch at least every few months at the very, very furthest. But it's called On, Off, What's in Between. And I'll send Mallory the link because it's really, really good. And it just talks about this idea that in our lives, we need to have a dimmer switch. And we need to have, instead of like okay, something good happened, whew, I'm way up here. Something bad happened, I'm way down here. Like, we need to have intervals that we can go to, like, okay, I'm not a bad mom. I can do this. I can come back from whatever this, like, is happening right now because of all these things that I've already done. So, like, just recognizing that today's not in the bag or done. I have the rest of the day. It's only 2:30 in my house. Like, I have the rest of the day to work on the things I need to do to make sure that I get dinner done, to safely drive my kids to music class, because today is music class day and it is crazy. And just to recognize the things that I have accomplished. That was the other thing I was going to say, is that if you feel like you're focusing on all these things you feel worried or anxious about getting done, if you have this big to-do list of things you feel like you're just never going to be able to get them all done, just write down the things you've done today. Whether it was get up and eat food and feed your kids, or just take care of yourself in some way, like, find something you've already done today and focus on those wins so that your brain can start to look for them again. Because I know for me, sometimes it's hard to remind myself and to speak truth into my mind, because my inner mean girl sometimes gets really, really loud, and I have to just, like, hey, what have I already done? What have I accomplished? Focusing on just, it sounds silly, but I love making to-do lists, but make to-done lists or already done lists of things that you've done in the day, in life. Like, anything counts. There's nothing that doesn't count. We get to make the list. So anyway, we only have like 10 seconds, well, probably 30 seconds left, but I just want to thank you guys all for getting on. Mallory, thank you so much. I feel like you are super powerful. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have questions, please talk to us. We'll do the best that we can. And I will post this recording for anyone who wants to have it in their library. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now.